Welcome to the Word of Truth. This is Teacher D.H. Spoon. Today's message is called Being Positive. Now is the time in your life that you got to look over your life, and now is the time that you have to be positive. You got to stop thinking negative. You got to stop being around negative people. If it's somebody that's always being negative, everything you say, they always want to argue. If you in a space in your life, in a time in your life where you just want to be positive, it's time that you get rid of all negative influences. Anyone that want to speak negative and everything, every time you want to speak positive, they always find something to argue about. They always want to be petty. They always want to find something to argue about and to be petty about. It's time for you to realize this is your life. Your life could be the way you want it. You are the co-creator of your life, and if you don't want to be negative, you don't have to be around no negative people. Some people wonder why people don't want to be around them, and they wonder why they can't find friends, they can't find good associates. It's because you don't always have to point at everybody else. Sometimes people have to look in the mirror. And sometimes people create problems for themselves, but they want to blame other people, especially when they're not obligated. Now is the time for you to think positive. We see a lot of negative things going on in this world, but God say that none of that will come near your dwelling. Just because you hear about negative things don't mean that that's about you. You have to make sure that you stay positive and make sure that you think positive and make sure that the people around you is positive. Don't get into negative things. You have to watch what you're thinking about because the enemy is not after your vehicle. He's not after your job. He's not after your marriage. He's not after, you know, money. He just uses those things to get to your mind because he wants to make sure he's trying to win you over to him. He don't want you to follow the Lord. He don't want you to have a new life in Christ. He wants you to fail. He wants you to be miserable, and misery loves company. And a lot of times people want to be around you and start stuff with you because they miserable, so they want you to be miserable. So that's why you have to, sometimes you have to walk away from people. You have to pray for them, and you just have to give them to the Lord. But when you have a life and it's peaceful without certain people, that's letting you know some people you just have to leave behind. You can't take everybody with you, especially if it's going to tear you down. You have to make sure that you know that, hey, this is my life, and if I don't want nothing negative around my life, and I don't have to have it, it's my choice. So you have to realize that it's your choice, and you have to be the one to be the captain of your ship. You can't let somebody else come in your life and be the captain of your ship. If you don't want to be negative, then you gonna have to say, hey, get to stepping, hit the door. Yep. And see, you have to realize that, some people, it might be hard, some people you might love, but ain't nothing worth your sanity, ain't nothing worth your well-being, ain't nothing worth your peace of mind, nothing. So, in your house is not supposed to just be where you stay. It's supposed to be your home, your resting place where you could come and rest, where you could come and be peaceful, where you could actually sleep. And it's not no arguing, it's not no bickering, it's not no fighting, it's not going back and forth. Sometimes you get tired of that, and some people wonder why people don't want to be bothered with them. But if you the type of person that's just always, every time you're always finding faults, in somebody else, and you don't want to look within yourself. And then if everybody don't want to be around you, you got to look within yourself. So now is the time to be positive. Now is the time to get on this new life. Now is the time to say, hey, this is my life. I'm the co-creator of my life. I don't want nothing to be negative in my life. So, hey, you know what? All that negative stuff got to get to step. I hope that you enjoyed this message, and I pray that you listen to it. It's not a long message. It's just something that God told me to put together right quick. It's because, I just feel so good in my life right now because I have a lot of peace. I don't have nobody in my life where I'm going back and forth and I have to, and I can't sleep and I'm arguing with and somebody always talking negative. I'm in a good space in my life. I'm 56 years old and I am glad. At 56, you're supposed to be peaceful. You know, it don't matter how old you are. Jesus said, I give you peace. So when you know that you in peace, that means that you listen to the Lord. That means that you doing what the Lord wants you to do, and you have resided in his peace. You have gotten rid of all that negative, and you are not listening to the enemy and not being affiliated with the enemy. So until next time, may the peace of God be with you. Peace.